everyone. I'm Lisa from Down to Earth, and happy Halloween, everyone. Today's Halloween, and I'm thinking about pumpkins. I know the kids are thinking about treats, so I have a special treat for my gardener friends. We have been doing one video per week, but we do like to give you a surprise video every so often, and special holiday is a perfect time. So Halloween typically means a frost is coming, and that means that we really need to get out there and cut any flowers that we want to bring in for bouquets, or bring in our vegetables. It's kind of our last chance to do that. So I thought it would be a great time to walk you through some of my favorite perennial and annual flowers that I've grown this year that are really suitable for a cutting garden or for bouquets and floral arrangements. And then the second part of the video is going to be an easy way to make a floral arrangement in a pumpkin or a centerpiece. This can make a great centerpiece even for Thanksgiving. At that point in my zone, which is 6A, I'll have to be buying some bouquets from the florist, but for purposes today, I thought it would be fun to show you some of my favorites, and then you can think about what you might want to add to your garden next year for some pretty bouquets and arrangements. So my flowers that I have here, I think what I'll do is I'll walk you through the annuals first. I've kind of split this little trug in half here, and I'm going to show you a few. I'm out there picking all of them. So I have a gorgeous group of some cosmos, and this is called Sensation, and I've grown them from seeds. So I'm going to be using these today. And then I have a couple patches of zinnias, and one is a Queen's Mix, and they're muted shades of, oh, you can see the peach, yellow, pink, rose, just a very antique-y, muted looking zinnia. And then my other zinnia that I grew this year was Benary's Giant, and that's a much more open zinnia, bright pops of color. So orange, yellow, pink, hot pink, red. I have just a few of them here that are left in the garden. And then I've got some dahlias in the mix, and this dahlia here I really wanted to show you. Gorgeous shades of yellow and rose and mauve, and this is called Caribbean Fantasy. So that's a beauty there. And I think that's what I've got for annuals. I've got a mix of dahlias and the zinnias and the cosmos. And I also have some celosia here. I have a little bit left. Okay, so moving on to perennials, because you might want to think about what you can add to your perennial garden. They're going to give you bang for your buck, as they'll come back every year. But it's fun to incorporate them into your garden and then know that you'll be able to use them for some floral bouquets or arrangements. So I've got hidden in here the flowers from my coral bells, and this is from the caramel coral bells. Often when we're thinking about coral bells, we're thinking about the foliage, which is beautiful. And the flowers have kind of gone by, but I'm still going to use this in my arrangement because I think it's going to make a beautiful filler flower. Pretty rosy stems and a blush colored flower. And then of course I have my perennial asters here. Pretty pop of purple. And a couple of unique perennials that I have in here that are more for foliage or filler is the Artemisia. Really pretty silvery gray foliage to add to my arrangement. And the little flowers, they're very petite, but they're faded, but I feel like it still looks pretty. This is also great for drying. And then the last perennial is a little more of a shrub, but you do cut it back at the end of the year. It's called Amsonia. And I like to show you this now because, well, for one, look at the texture. It's a great filler. But for two, the Amsonia turns a bright yellow to gold color in the fall. So this plant will give you 3 seasons of interest. It's a nice mounding habit, and in the spring, late spring, it'll have some blue flowers, and then it's green, gorgeous, ferny texture, and then in the fall it'll turn bright yellow. So this is a winner. It's also found a lot in a lot of heirloom or historical gardens. It is considered an heirloom plant. So those are some fun perennials for you to add to the mix. And then of course our gorgeous annuals. So now for the centerpiece part of the video, I'm selecting a pumpkin that's a little bit lower because I'm probably going to put it in the middle of the table. And I do not want to have to be peeking over my centerpiece to talk to my guests. So I like this pumpkin just for the height, and I think it's a really beautiful color. But you can select any pumpkin. And then I've hollowed it out because we're going to be using this as a vessel. So this is going to be our vase or our vase. And I feel like this is the easiest, the quickest and easiest way to make a pumpkin centerpiece. So next what you need to do is you need to find a container that's going to hold your water. And this fits perfectly in here. I just found this little glass vase, but you could use anything plastic, recycled container, just something that fits in here. And I do like the wide mouth of this for my arrangement. And then of course I'm going to fill it with some cool water. So I don't know about you all at home, but when I'm throwing a dinner party, I'm very busy cooking and getting ready. So I like this as a centerpiece because I feel like this is really quick and easy. So then you're going to need your flowers. I really just like my floral snippers here. You can also use your pruners for the woody stems. So I'm going to take this out of the water so I can see what I'm going to use here. So many good options. Okay, so traditional arrangements or bouquet will have your greenery and a filler flower. I'm going to consider this celosia a filler flower because it's a little more petite. And then your focal flower. Sometimes there's a secondary flower as well. So of course the dahlias are going to be beautiful focal flower here. So then I have to think about height. So traditionally you don't want to go more than 1.5 times taller than your container, but you know, contemporary arrangements can be really unique in different heights, and that's what makes it fun. I'm going to do something a little more traditional, and like I said, I want to keep it lower so when it's in the center of the table it's not obstructing anyone's view. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip my stems, and when you're doing something in water, an arrangement in water, you want to try to do your cuts at 45 degrees, and what that does is it gives it enough surface area or maximizes the surface area for it to soak up water, and if you have any floral preservatives in the mix, the nutrients. So I'm going to cut it down to what I think the size is going to be. And I'm going to really do something like a farmer's market bouquet because I have all of these homegrown flowers. This is a tiny little pom-pom style dahlia. And don't worry, whatever I don't use here, I'm going to make bouquets and put a couple in the house and give a couple away. So any foliage that's on the bottom of the stem, you do want to strip that. You don't want that sitting in the water. So I find the easiest thing to do is just to go ahead and make the bouquet in your hands. So I'm really just trying to arrange it right in my hands. This is a great Halloween fall color. Stripping my leaves here. So just going ahead and making the bouquet right in your hands, it gives you a lot of flexibility. I think you just saw how I moved this around to see what I like more. And it's really about personal preference. This dahlia here I forgot to mention is also a beauty. This is strawberry ice. So I've got some taller flowers in the middle, and now I'm going to do kind of a skirt of some smaller flowers around the edge. I can't not use these Caribbean Fantasy dahlias. They're just so stunning. So I'm really just tapering it down and just spinning it around in my hand and arranging it. I don't want to forget anybody here. Really pretty with the green pumpkin. Okay, so I'm just spinning it around. I want to show you what I'm doing. Just kind of checking everybody out here. Okay, be a little more gray. When you're doing a centerpiece, it's kind of necessary to spin it around, because you have to remember that people will be sitting all around the table, so you're going to see the arrangement from every direction. Versus if you're using this as a display, it might be more of a one-sided arrangement. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this, and when I get it in the container here, I can also fluff it up and add a few more, but I'm really loving this bright combination here with the last of my garden flowers. So now I'm going to continue to trim the bottom, trying to do it on an angle, getting rid of any greenery. We don't really want that submerged in the water. And I'm kind of guessing the height. Now what you can do is you can use a rubber band, or a ribbon or some twine, and you can tie it so it's a nice tighter arrangement. But I don't mind if it's a little looser, and I have enough flowers that I can go ahead and add some fillers. So just looking at it here, I can see that I want it a little bit shorter. I love being able to work outside at this outdoor table. I'm really going to miss it in the winter. Lots of winter project ideas coming up, and also planning for next year's garden. Okay, I want a pretty low arrangement. I'm not following the traditional rules today. Let's just try it. We can always pop it out. So if you're looking around in your yard, it's a great time to do that and just see what you have available for some fun centerpieces or your pumpkin arrangement. You might want to think about the colors that you have and then go out and select your pumpkin. Pumpkins come in so many different fabulous colors. Okay. That's pretty beautiful, but I still have room to add more, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill it out a little bit more. I love that this dahlia here is in full bloom, but it also has some buds that will open up. And I feel like I didn't use enough of the cosmos, and I have so many of them in the garden. Okay, folks, I think that's it. I think I'm wrapping it up, and I have a little bit extra. I can do some really pretty bouquets. But thank you so much for joining me today. And again, happy Halloween. Have a safe and happy Halloween. And if you like the video, tap like and subscribe to our channel for some future gardening videos.